Hello, hello. It's Cutting Toss for once and for our first time here for week 4 of the LPL. I'm Mad Magical, joined in by the always lovely Beatdown. How are you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm fantastic. I just found out I got signed on to the LPL. Let's go.
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Did I say LPL? Did I say
Yeah,
LPL?
you did.
Oh man, that just shows you how much casting for the LPL and stuff, how it just
Of course, of course, of
ingrained in
course.
my brain. I've met
Yeah.
UPL, but you know what? Hopefully we'll have games on as good of a level as the LPL. Lots of
Oh
fighting, lots of
yeah.
aggression, especially for the two teams that we have today. We've got Wildcard Gaming and Winthrop's B team, who are both sitting at 2-1 in the standings.
That's right. And interestingly enough, these teams do share the same record, but I think it looks a little better on Winthrop B's side because Winthrop lost to AoE Cope. And AoE Cope is the top in this group. They seem undisputed at the moment here. It doesn't seem like anyone's going to be able to overcome them. Wildcard haven't actually faced them just yet.
Not yet.
So talking to some of the staff over at Winthrop B, they even said they recognize, hey, look, man, AoE Cope has a lot of great players over there. They're not too bummed out about the loss. They just took it as a learning experience going into this week. And I'm really interested in what they're going to look like on the day, especially versus Wildcard, who didn't end up facing them just yet and
No.
lost to AoE Dream instead.
Right, I was just about to mention that when Winthrop might have lost to Cope, but Wildcard lost to Dreams, who have been struggling since that victory. Dreams is also a team that we saw Winthrop beat convincingly 2-0 in their series against them. So this is one of the things that if you're going by transitive property right now, you're already going to favor Winthrop's B team over Wildcard into this matchup today.
True, but it has been a few weeks, and I think Wildcard, who knows, they could also have worked on themselves quite a bit since that very same loss. And I mean, they haven't lost since then either. And we get some credit due to Wildcard Gaming as a whole, because from what we've seen this last year in amateur, they have shown to be very good at scouting out talent. A lot of really great players across very many rosters, and honestly, some great coaching staffs to boot. So I would not be surprised to see them bounce back today as well. Although, of course, we're going transitive properties. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, but that's the thing. That's not exactly how League of Legends works. We've seen many times where a top team can beat up another top team, but then lose to a bottom tier team. You just never know
Right.
how things are going to go because it's about showing up on the day, especially when you look at how the meta has kind of transformed. Worlds has been a good indicator for that, but we're not exactly on the Worlds patch. We're on one patch removed from it, on 1120. And I will say most of the stuff is the
I was
same,
gonna say.
but at the same time, with Worlds and looking at that, as well as having Akshan and Vex both enabled, I want to see if teams are starting to pick up those champions and going to be able to utilize them today.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that one as well, especially because Akshan, we all know the meme about how his whole W passive. It's basically if you're an OG Overwatch fan, you know, if you know, you know. He's actually quite strong at the moment in the solo lane. He's definitely
Mhm.
run top in certain matchups. And the same thing with Vex. Vex is definitely a good pick to go for at the moment there in the mid lane. So we could see either of those things come out. But kind of like you said, a lot of the same stuff that is broken is still from 1119 is still pretty good. You could
Mhm.
still technically go Talon, Kiana, whatever assassin in the jungle if you want to, and just run Gore Drinker, Sterix, and it's also not terrible. And if
No.
Yumi gets through, ooh,
I mean, I'm
oh no.
hoping no Yumis. I'm hoping Yumi just
Me
gets
too.
banned. But another one that I think is going to probably be even more important is a Lucian. Just Lucian, not even paired up with
True.
Nami. Everyone always talks about the combo of Lucian Nami because it's one of
Mhm.
the most disgusting combos. But Lucian Yumi is really good. Lucian Lulu is another one. Pretty much Lucian with many of these enchanters that can buff up and make it so that his new passive is going to be even worse.
Right, and it's just about the shielding. There's a lot of options. Interestingly enough, too, you mentioned the Lulu. There are answers lately we've seen. Again, this
Mhm.
is Worlds, of course, to that Lucian Nami bottom lane. People are running the Aphelios and the Lulu.
Yep.
You are able to offer a similar amounts of poke, and you actually don't get hard crunched in the 1v1 like we have seen in other matchups there between the two. So I'm interested to see if that persists both in and outside of Worlds, because now that you see this as an option, I think it's really hard to imagine teams are going to prioritize like a first rotation ban for Lulu just to be able to actually remove that counter to the Lucian Nami bot lane.
Well, and that goes into how we expect these teams to play up today, especially as we dive into champions select between the two. I mean, you could always make the argument we're probably going to see only a little bit of that meta, probably things like Yumi and Lucian make their way through. But these are also players that have their own style. Like looking at Anime Girl, the Yone top lane is something that we can see as being a niche pick, depending on what Winthrop themselves want to grab.
This is very possible. They are on red side. It would make for a very spicy R5 pick there. And I know you like that kind of stuff that gets really mixy there in draft. Mr. AP Amumu before it was useful.
AP support Amumu. Don't even forget.
Of course. I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course. But like you were mentioning, the respect is already being paid to Anime Girl. Yone taken off of the table, and yeah, I think at this point, early rotations here at UBL it is mostly sometimes it's banning broken stuff, but it's partially also just the respect bans. It's just about, okay, that guy is really good at this pick. I don't want to see it.
And speaking of another respect, option in on Seraphine, even though they have also flex mid lane, it is the double up. You're getting both the support and mid laner, taking away champions, so that way you're not going to have to worry about Crab Apple possibly playing that Kayn in the jungle or playing, as you had mentioned, the Talons, the Kianas that have been coming up. But I still want to kind of see how that is going to develop going into this game, because you look over towards Worlds, and Kiana and Twisted Fate has actually been one of my favorite combos. How they both work together. Usually, when you see things like the Talon, you see things like Kiana, LeBlanc, it's because Yumi's paired up with it and can attach so well to them. But Kiana does so well with Twisted Fate because you turn any of the skirmishes Kiana wants into a 2v1.
Yeah, that's very true. She is very good at skirmishing. We could see either of those chances come through because, like you said, Kiana is good. Twisted Fate especially is very strong at the moment too. And like you're mentioning, Kiana is already going to be taken off of the table. The Ziggs ban is definitely good as well. I still think he's a good pick. Even though he's really fallen in priority, I don't think he was touched at all going into 11-19.
No, I don't.
So it doesn't make sense that we're seeing some respect go to him.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players have just kind of forgotten about him, forgotten how powerful he is, and how it's just about wave clear, since it was mostly into things like VARs, really the PvE, who can clear out these waves better, but not going to see that here. Instead, we're actually seeing the Lulu possibly being the final ban, or the Yumi. The Yumi, I would much prefer.
There it is.
Because Yumi has completely dominated with how you're able to draft Yumi in these compositions, but it has left open Lucian and Nami that easily can be first picked here by Winthrop.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, the Amumu is available. Misfortune is up, which is what I wanted to highlight as well. Amumu we haven't seen do very well on the previous patch there, and we're starting to see a lot of people come out and say it's overrated, it's not as good as it used to be.
You take that back.
I said what I said, Magical. It's overrated, okay? Just play Leona. Just play Leona.
No, unless it's top lane Leona, I'm not gonna play your meta bull crap.
Oh my God. You know what? At least these teams know they're picking. Like Graves is a great one there. He's really risen in priority going back into the solo lanes. There is that super insanely disgusting shield bull bloodthirster build. They call it the Negan build if you watch The Walking Dead, and he just doesn't die. And like you said, Lucian Nami is available.
Yeah, and I think
we already see the Lucian locked in.
Yeah, I think you just take it here, and maybe even the Nami, or go for something like Jarvan. That is another one of those junglers that we have been seeing really dominate at Worlds, and even here, when you look at how Solo Kyo has really developed, his team fighting prowess, his clear speed, all these working really well with one another.
Right, it makes a lot of sense, but I am interested to see if Winthrop B are able to actually play that Aphelios Lulu and actually be able to get that push up to level 1, be able to outpoke them and not let them smash lane like they're so confident doing. And the thing that's nice too is because if you do secure yourself that Aphelios, like that's a great late game scaling hyper carry ADC, and I think that works out just fine for you. There you go. Winthrop know what I'm talking about. They just lock in the Leona. This is much better. This is good stuff right here.
Amumu is so much more of a Chad champion, let's all be real. Unless it's top lane Leona, you're getting yourself the Tiamat, you're going for the attack speed, you get what is it, Hail of Blades too, to even head attack
I don't play with you.
I feel like that's an answer a lot of people give me. I feel like I come up with all this. Oh,
Oh,
is that a mid lane Soraka?
I think so.
That's a mid lane Soraka, I believe.
That's interesting too, because some people talk about how you could run Soraka into lanes like Nami, like Yumi, stuff like that, where you essentially outpoke, you out heal. Soraka is like, you know how we talk about champs stat checking other ones with their stats? Soraka is that, but for healers, because of the amount of healing that she can do, especially since the change to her ult where it cleanses grievous wounds before applying the heal, like it is unreal.
Well, and then on the other side, to not exactly answer that, but to kind of try to round out a little bit more of the team fight prowess that Wildcard Developmental have already gotten for themselves, it is in Nocturne, which is also not necessarily guaranteed to go into the jungle. Could be for Nemesis in mid lane, could be for Anime Girl top lane. There are definitely options that you have with this champion.
Yeah, though I'm not really into solo lane Nocturne anymore. I think this will likely go into the jungle, into Rapid's hands. And it does offer you immediately a lot of dive potential post 6. Just being able to have those semi-globals to be able to collapse onto some of these plays, kind of like Twisted Fate, where you were talking about earlier, Magical. It does function in a similar sense, but also being able to turn on the lights is still very impactful, because if you're too slow, you can't even teleport to these fights.
Well, now we see Ken and Gnar both banned by Wildcard, aiming towards Mabud in the top lane, which is interesting to me, because Jace is still open. And those two tend to do poorly into the chase, which is something that I would have expected, you know, if you're wanting to get Jace, which we've seen really dominate in many of these regions, especially when you look towards Worlds, he's been left untouched here. Neither really putting that priority onto him at the moment. I mean, of course, the Graves we expect to be from a top lane, and Jace doesn't fare the best into Graves more because it's a neutralizing lane and really can't do much, since Graves is just going to wave clear, back off, and he's going to be fine, which is similar to what Jace kind of wants to do once he gets until he gets some more items to really be able to poke at you with those shock blasts. There it is. You are right. It is Rapid onto that Nocturne.
Right, and you are going to see the Victor come through. It is definitely an interesting pick. It does scale very well. You don't get much early prio depending on the matchup. I actually don't know what it would be like into that Soraka, since that's likely going into the mid lane. Not really sure what's happening anymore.
Top lane Leona? Maybe I was right.
No.
Maybe I was right.
No, you're not right. You're not right.
No,
See, Camille. It's fine.
It's Soraka, Leona,
Soraka,
bot lane.
Leona.
Or is it Leona Xerath?
So wait, then where's Leona going?
Leona's support. Leona's support. We've already got.
Okay,
this,
so
but it's
Soraka, Leona. Gotcha.
Well, no, it could be Xerath bot lane.
No, I think it's Xerath mid lane. You pick that because you see the Victor coming through. It's like, okay, I know where he's playing mid lane. I'm gonna outrange him. I'm going to ruin him and make it so that Nemesis can't really interact. Like I was saying, you don't get prio early until you get the evolved E with that death laser, and I think you offer more priority for your jungler, which I guess actually is going to end up being the Graves for Crabapple Boy, to be able to go for some of these more aggressive plays, invades and the such.
Did I ever tell you that one time I played solo lane Janna top lane on hit, and I got a solo kill over a Zed?
No, you didn't, and I wish it stayed that way too. I wish you didn't.
Now you know. Now you know that I did that one time. And even the Zed was really tilted, and I had a great time.
I mean, he should be tilted. I'm tilted for him. That guy was probably a terrible person, and I'm tilted for him.
It was hilarious.
Plays League of Legends. He probably sucks.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's just me in general.
Me too.
But you know what? Looking at these drafts, looking at what we've got between the two teams, I would have liked to see the solo lane Soraka, but looking at this bot lane, Soraka, Leona, into Lucian at Nami. I haven't ever had experience with this, but to me, that doesn't seem like a fun time.
It's not going to be fun for them,
right?
Because the interesting thing about when you play it in like lower elos, when you're playing these very
wait, are you trying to say that I'm in low elo? Because you're right.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're the same elo, so it's not even like
hey! I solo killed Smacks. That's all I need in my life.
Yeah, and then I killed you right after. What's your point? Like
You didn't kill me. You
mm-hmm.
camped me and tried to gank over and over again for like a solid 5 minutes.
Successfully.
Well, you got me twice, but I also then killed Smacks again while you were there.
Yeah, it probably did happen,
So
but I mean that's
2-2
more
and
on
2.
Smacks than
I
it
was
is
2-2
on
and
me.
2, and then I realized the rest of the map wasn't doing so well.
That's a good point. And you know what? We went on this too long. I kind of forgot. Okay, no, I know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
The thing is, the reason I mentioned low elo is that when you run these like Sona Soraka, these very enchanter like not able to skirmish at all early bottom lanes is what I'm going to call them. You don't get punished very hard. Well, this isn't low elo. You can get punished. Running that into Lucian Nami, that's
Right.
bold, very bold. So you have no lane pressure at all for the first like 10 minutes of the game in the bottom lane. I expect plenty of dragons to be going Wildcard Gaming's way, and unless Winthrop can somehow survive this early game, things will get a little tough for them. But the thing is, if they get through, if we get to the later parts of the game, Soraka's healing.
Well, that is true. But I want to see Psycho and Pseudo. I want to see them position aggressively from the gates. Right out the gates, you are looking for these kills as soon as possible. Because if you're not, why bother playing Lucian Nami? Especially in game 1, where you're both tied at 2-1 in the standings. You are trying to rise yourselves above the other. You might as well go for glory.
And there it is. We have our confirmed lane assignments, especially Winthrop B, definitely throwing us several curveballs. This is what I'm talking about. Already not the greatest level 1, so you can just walk right in if you're wildcard developmental.
Yeah, I was about to say
that. They're fine.
Now, you didn't even... Okay, no, they did get the ward on blue buff. I was about to say...
No, yeah, that's what matters.
Because if you didn't even get the ward down, that's where that's just detrimental. You try to go for this early invade to be able to get that vision down onto the blue buff so you can spot out Crabapple Boy. Had that been a failure, had they not gotten the ward, that would have been a big win for Winthrop. But unfortunately for them, the ward was placed down, and now his path, as he is pathing towards the top half, where he'll look for that bottom play initially, is going to be read like a book.
Yeah, and more than anything else, like, Graves isn't one of those junglers who's looking to do the 3 camp, 4 camp, skip wolves into a gank. So it is more than likely Crabapple Boy is just going to be clearing top to bottom like that. But being matched by Rapid is interesting. It opens a lot of skirmishing capabilities. And because, again, how strong the bottom lane is here for Wildcard means that this isn't actually a skirmish you'll be able to win. So I expect a big fight for that bottom Scuttle Crab, and it should go Wildcard's way.
I'm a little upset already by Psycho and Pseudo. I said, right out the gates, you're playing aggressively. And while Pseudo was definitely there, Psycho's like, I want to get the minions. I want to farm. Nah, you fight, boy. We look for aggression in this house. You flash forward. We're no cowards.
Well, they are playing for the level 2, and they're more than likely going to be able to get it first.
All right, it looks like we have a little bit of an issue, so we're coming back to us for a bit. So stick with us for a second. Hopefully, we'll be able to figure out what that issue is. But I'm going to be critical. I've seen and I've talked with a couple coaches and analysts who all say if you're going Lucian Nami, you are looking for that level 1 play. You're not even trying to get level 2. You want to get as many summoners as humanly possible right out of the gates.
True, yeah, and even with the level 2, it's true they haven't actually gone for anything here. Psycho Pseudo, like you said, not actually being too aggressive. We got another deep ward that I think spotted Crabapple Boy.
It definitely did.
Yeah, so this is what I was referring to a second ago, where we'll likely see a skirmish here for this bottom lane.
There's
but
something happening. Wait a minute, Pseudo, how'd that happen? First blood to the Soraka Leona bot lane. Now they've got the slow, the cleanse coming out of Psycho. Let's see it blade hit connected, flashed away with the flash board. It's 2 kills for the Soraka Leona bot lane.
Man, that's rough. That's really rough. Well, Grim and Koskinen are probably going to get out of the early game. Like,
you don't say.
Yeah, something, I don't know, just something gave me that inkling magical that I think they're going to be okay. Things are going to be fine. And I mean, it partially because you didn't see any of the early trades like you were talking about. Had you zoned them off the wave, had you gotten more poke and reasonably tried to all in them, force out summoner spells, that play doesn't work out like that. But
No, not at all.
at least you don't lose out on too much farm if you're Psycho and Pseudo, but that is really unfortunate. You kind of lose a lot of the early pressure that you were supposed to have.
Beatdown, you're trying to sugarcoat this, and I know, and I appreciate you. But this is a disaster. We both know it.
Oh, yeah.
The whole
yeah.
point of the Leona Nami lane is to handedly crush the lane phase. And the fact that even in the 2v2, before Crabapple Boy had even shown up, Pseudo had already died. This is massively detrimental to them on how they're going to be able to play. And you can already see that what do Grim and Koskinen need to do? They don't even care. They can go on this adventure. They can send them out because they got this lead here in the bot lane. They've even got a little bit of priority mid lane to enable Koskinen to get full control over Rapid's jungle in Vision.
And just off of that one play, all of a sudden, this bot control we were expecting is not there anymore. So now, at this point, Psycho and Pseudo looking like they're just going to be slow pushing this next wave, and they're just not looking to fight anymore. All Psycho got to buy was a longsword. After that one, you got to be spooked at this point here, and I think you're just waiting for Rapid to hit level 6 for him to be able to make these more impactful plays from these great distances and make it harder for Crabapple to be able to actually answer them.
Yeah, and even look at how Pseudo is now positioning away from Koskinen at all points to get away and not get hit by that Zenith Blade, by that E. Because how it turned everything around. I would bet, we didn't get to fully see it, that Pseudo never even had a chance to use the Tide Color's Blessing onto Psycho. That could have possibly made it be a turnaround, because you get all that additional damage out of the passive from Lucian when you have that E from Nami on top of you. And now they're making a desperation play for this dragon. That was a nice TP by Blood on the other side, with Rapid taking the brunt of the damage initially. He gets sliced down by the tactical protocol, with everyone now onto Koskinen. He's in the middle of two members. Ignite heal comes out to keep him alive. Psycho, he got tagged by the Zenith Blade, but he dragged him back underneath the turret. The bubble connected so they can get the kill on Koskinen. Dragon has been taken the entire time, though, by Crabapple Boy, with a nice stun on to Nemesis, waiting for the flash, but he couldn't even get to the wall, so he could pick up another kill.
Man, that is a brutal one here. 4 kills for Winthrop B, and it's off the ward you mentioned, Magical. Because of that pressure, Koskinen gets to walk into the jungle, set up a sweet TP ward for Mabud, who already had the top lane pushed in. He's going to lose a little bit of farm, but picking up a kill and an assist is absolutely worth that one.
And even the amount of CS he's losing is negligible. The wave is crashing into his turret, so he will lose some, but he's only down 4, make it 3 now, because he's shown up to the top wave to catch it and get some back, so he actually is at a pure net positive from that play.
And it's tough too, because you were likely hoping to Dragon Stack if you were Wildcard Developmental's team, because as the game goes later and later, Winthrop will certainly have more of an advantage. Already losing the first dragon does not bode well in that regard as well.
Nathan, didn't you talk about that before? You're saying
I did.
This bot lane is meant to, for the side of Wildcard, is meant to control the dragon pit, and now they've already lost control.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's crazy how we had these expectations going into the game, and it just didn't pan out the way Wildcard were hoping for. And this early game becomes extremely difficult because we kept saying it. Winthrop don't care as much about how the early game goes. They're looking to farm. They're looking to scale and not actually fight too much until champs like Grim on the Soraka come online. And you being able to pick up that early dragon, you finding a sweet TP play from Mabu to already give yourselves a lead. This is everything you could have wanted and so much more.
And now this is an interesting lane swap out of Wildcard. They're matching the 2 teleportless players, Nemesis up against Mabud, so that way Anime Girl can retain that and maybe be able to rotate around onto the top half of the map, since there's nothing really to play for on this bottom half. There's no dragon. It's going to be about the Rift Herald that has now spawned.
Yeah, it's an interesting swap. It makes sense too because Anime Girl has the teleport, can join if he is truly needed in the skirmish for this Rift Herald. But it's nice too because at least you allow Psycho to catch this wave mid lane. It's going to be really hard for Soraka Leona to have kill pressure on a set. And speaking of, they pushed in that wave Magical. Now they're moving up for this Herald as well. Winthrop are not letting this one go.
No, they have now just wrestled that control of the brief window that Wildcard had had around it away from them. And sure, you're getting some plates for Anime Girl in the bottom half of the map, but you're losing out on a second neutral objective of the game. The bot lane that you had drafted to win and crush both the Soraka and Leona has crumbled. Even if you've gotten a singular kill onto that Lucian, nobody else is thriving. Nobody else is doing well, and Crabapple Boy is going to be able to run circles continually around Rapid.
It's tough too. At least now that Pseudo is level 6, Rapid is level 6, you have ways to start fights out, and we already have one.
Nice dive, nice dive. Pretty easily executed there. As they had Rapid on the other side if need be, but now what does Wildcard gain from this? Look at mid lane. Crabapple Boy already there. Probably just, do you even pop Shelly? No, it doesn't pop Shelly immediately just to get the additional plates.
Still, that is golden XP lost, jumping that wave into the turret. Now he can hold on to the Herald until he finds a better opportunity. But it's like you said, it's a play that doesn't get you as much as you might have hoped. And wait, no, he walks away, right?
Yeah, he looks like he walks away. He's still got that ultimatum available. Not very much mana out of Nemesis, but we've also seen, you know, thinking back to Worlds, speaking of which, where people underestimate the power a Victor can have with even that much mana.
Right. Doesn't actually opt to stop the recall, just wants to confirm that it goes off. But man, Wildcard, developmental. That kill they got earlier does go onto the Nami, so it's not as great as it could have been. Did see a gold check just to give you everything. Kind of just a rundown on who has more gold than who. You're going to see a lot of gold come through on Crabapple Boy's side. He's already ahead of Rapid because of the CS lead he's gotten for himself and some of the minions he gets to farm. But he's going to get more too off of these turret plays, especially if they find a good play, they find a potential dive on the bottom side of the map. You take those plays, you take that first turret. That's a huge injection of gold to Winthrop.
The fact that Grim is keeping up, is only slightly behind Psycho on this Soraka, is a big net loss for Wildcard. Now, the play being made in the bot lane, you had already gotten Leona really deep in with the TP behind. Solar Flare went wide, though. Rapid has to be careful because that was a nice flash on to the backline from Anime Girl to grab Apple Boy, who flashed away to be able to survive. Dashed as well. The Ignite is ticking, but he'll survive. The trade of only Leona and a lot of summoners out of the other side. Nice bubble, though, connected onto Grip, but they can't follow that up any further.
It's not just that magical. Several summoners, several ultimates, and only picked up a single kill onto Koskin. And you saw that healing onto Crabapple Boy. That is just a level 7 Soraka with Moonstone. It only gets worse from here, Magical.
And beatdown, that was without Wish. Wish just came out of cooldown.
No ultimate either.
Absolutely insane right now that was all that Wildcard were able to get. And we go back to the bot lane, even though we're watching Mappa push this top lane getting plates. What is up? Another neutral objective that Winthrop are the first to make the call for.
That's right. That's going to be, it's looking like Winthrop are the ones who are dragon stacking at the moment. And we do have a very powerful soul no matter what it ends up being. And of course, it is going to be Ocean. As if Winthrop's composition needed any more healing to begin with, they have the potential to get that Ocean Soul. And you just see that Wildcard have no pressure pretty much anywhere except the mid lane at the moment here, because Nemesis is doing a really good job with wave clear. Now you have this potential dive here on the bottom lane. I imagine they're just going to go in right now.
Getting a lot of damage. The root, too, onto Psycho. Crabapple Boy has been hanging out in the wings, waiting to see if it's a good angle to actually look for the play, but instead it's going to be the waves crashing that signify the start. The call onto Psycho. Not going to be able to get the end-of-line damage, but they're going to get the kill nonetheless. Gifted over to Koskinen while they find the Arcane the backline onto Pseudo, and a nice TP. We didn't even realize that Mabud had showed up to the fight.
Yeah, again, his TP is off cooldown. He knows Anime Girl already committed his. The dive is done and dusted. And you can see that extra gold. Mabud is going to get all of the local gold from taking that turret. That's a big deal there. So much gold into this Camille's pocket means she's going to be a nightmare in the side lane. It's going to be very difficult to actually duel her and take her down for Anime Girl.
And while Anime Girl will still get the top lane turret and that localized gold as well, it's the first brick gold that Mabud now has gotten, as well as having quite a bit of a lead over Anime Girl. That's going to make it hard in this side lane for you to contend against Camille, because normally, as said, you want to be able to battle early on before Camille gets these items, before she becomes that split push menace.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, the only lead really in favor of Wildcard is Nemesis. He's been farming very well, keeping his team in the game when it comes to gold. So he has a lot of the damage to look towards when Wildcard are in these fights, especially when he's getting to that level 11. Will have that level 2 on the ultimate. So there's a lot of potential damage coming through on his end. It's just going to depend on how these team fights are set up because one, we saw a taste of it in that bottom lane when Rapid went in with the ultimate. So much to get one kill, and it only gets harder from here with the fact that we're going to see Grim's Wish come off of cooldown, so there isn't going to be the greatest opening for a play to be made.
No, unless you can somehow kill Grim before Grim's able to even utilize Wish, there's not really a wish for your own side to be able to fight back. They're going to heal so damn much, and technically you could even make an argument that while Nemesis is getting this lead in the mid lane over Heiberagi, it's a Xerath. Xerath is a pretty supportive champion as well, even with a good amount of damage, and now you're looking for more gold on the Crabapple Boy. While Anima Girl is getting a lot of fight back, not going to get the Phase Breaker to connect, and still kiting it back, Showstopper does nothing to stop the killing spree.
Man, wasn't even able to drop that haymaker.
Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Look at this, they're trying to dive the flash in. Where's the Arcana Pulse? Not gonna connect. I appreciate
the
Heiberagi. The wish came through, the Shocking Orb connected, but it's the Chaos Storm to take down Heiberagi.
And that was a really close one there. It's still, they managed to pick up something on Wildcard's side, which is a big deal. Any gold you can get into this Nocturne or Victor's pocket is an absolute blessing. So being able to make that play is big. And being able to get that turret in the mid lane is really important as well. So that's all outers taken down by Wildcard. And you can see they've done a pretty good job at pretty much narrowing this gold gap. It's just under 1,000 at the moment here. And you can see there's a lot of a lot of mythics, rather, being built up now by Wildcard side.
But the big problem is even if you're stopping any of that lead from escalating out of control for Winthrop, you are the team that's supposed to be dominating in the mid game. This is supposed to be the area you thrive in as Wildcard. And right now, they're struggling. All the while, Winthrop are kind of okay with it stalling out. They've got the Soraka, they've got Leona and Xerath. They just want to get the items anyways.
So right now, the only thing you really have to... the only thing going for you that you have to contend with, if you're Wildcard, is that you have pretty good wave clear. You have a really good, a lot of ways to be able to get mid priority, move into the jungle, and try to set up your vision line. So the thing is, if they can get control of this bottom river, they do have a good shot at being able to take this dragon. And then they have to take it magically. You can't let this soul point go through at this time here. Grim did use the heal, but still has the wish coming off cooldown, so still a big cooldown available for this dragonflight.
That was definitely close, though, out of Psycho to look for that kill onto Grim. How did that actually come to fruition? This dragon would be an easy take, and now on the other side, the fight, a nice spear, too, onto Heiberagi for Rapid to be able to get his first kill of the game.
That is a really big catch-up, really important for Wildcard side. No Xerath means you lose a lot of your damage, a lot of your range, and what are we doing?
Yeah, get out of there. Even though you got the Immortal Shieldvo shield that was able to keep you alive and a nice heal out of Grim, you would have had to burn a lot. No collateral damage, no flash now. The dragon then started up by Wildcard, but they are being cautious about this, and rightly so. They know the damage could still come out of Crabapple Boy, and if they get the engage coming in from Koskinen, it'll be difficult for them to contend with, but there's no TP out of Mud. It's going to be Heiberagi showing up to the fight. An Anime Girl on the wings has now spotted them out. They went for the engage into the backline, but Psycho's kiting back Koskinen this entire time with an Ignite ticking. Anime Girl, where's the punch? Where's the flash in to take down Koskinen? They've got the cancel Gravity Field too, but the heal on to Crabapple Boy not going to be enough at the moment with Grim finally helping him out. Crabapple Boy was able to turn it around, but they lost Grim all the while right into the arcane. Not connecting. 1, 2, then get the fourth one because it's not there yet. Only level 10, but the fight is going to be finished for both teams.
And it's, you can see, what? Was backing on a ward magical. He didn't know. So this is really important. Even though you come out on top in this fight for Wildcard, it's so scrappy. You lose so much, and the health bars are so low, which means you can't actually go for this dragon, which means you're resetting, or you got picked off by Heiberagi just there. And either way, that means Winthrop pick up the third dragon. So this danger scenario we talked about for Wildcard, it just happened, Alex.
And the fact that Crabapple Boy was able to survive from all the healing Grim was able to provide, it makes me wonder, Where's the grievous wounds out of Nemesis? Where's the grievous wounds out of Psycho? Even if you've got a Bramble Vest, you've got an Executioner calling on the Rapid, these other targets, the ones with more of the AoE, have got to build that to stop Grim from keeping everyone alive.
So this is just my guess. Pseudo is playing the Namis. You really want that Imperial Mandate available like ASAP. But the second item has got to be that Chemtech Putrifier. Yeah. Being able to apply Grievous Wounds or give it to your teammates when you give them any heal or shielding or anything like that at 60% is a really big deal. But still, I don't know if they can afford to wait that long. At the very least, I think seeing more Executioner's Callings, like one for Psycho, something like that, I think is going to go a long way because you're going to need all the heal cut you can hope for, especially if that 4th dragon comes through for Winthrop.
And I think that's the big problem, is if you're relying on Pseudo to get the Chemtech Putrifier, that's going to take ages. Yeah, you need the Imperial Mandate. I do agree with you on that one. But then waiting for Pseudo to get that and not actually even just getting a cheap Executioner's Calling or an Oblivion Orb for Nemesis is delaying all the cutting of healing that you can get from these team fights and are going to let Grim continue to scale.
And it's just that easy for them. Winthrop, Grim especially, is hitting that level 11 mark. You got that level 2 on the Wish. And with the kills that he's been picking up and the gold there, he's definitely working his way to his second item much faster than Pseudo is, whatever it's going to be. And man, like it's going to be so hard unless Rapid finds an insane engage. The thing is, if you can, you want to try to pick off this Soraka, but how can you do that unless she steps out of line? Or now that Rapid actually didn't go Gorge Drinker, he went Stridebreaker. So that does make it easier for you to keep the Fear Tether on. So maybe if you get on top of Grim, you can just burst him immediately. But I think that's the only way you win these fights.
Yeah, but this is not the buffed Stridebreaker that we're getting on 1121. So it is a little bit weaker on how you're going to be able to follow up, and also that extra damage that you get from it. But that then just makes you far squishier if you're Rapid. And we already know that Crabapple Boy's got a lot of burst potential. Those Arcano Pulses are now hurting out of Heibaraki. And if you're thinking that it's just going to be because you're not going to die quickly to Soraka, you're forgetting about the other members on the team. It's Heibaraki had to flash from Nemesis.
That is a pretty big deal, to be honest. We saw Heibaragi be the target of the dive from Rapid during the last fight. It could be an option again if you catch him out, especially because now you know he doesn't have the flash available. There would be a lot of damage to take out of the picture, especially with how strong Nemesis is starting to look right now. You saw it just now, almost destroyed Heibaragi and would have done so if he didn't flash. But you have to be able to... I think you want Nemesis in the mid lane, to be honest. Like, I know Psycho, it is easier for the AD carry to be in the mid lane, but I think with how mobile Lucian is, I think you just want Nemesis there because he has better wave clear right now. It's so much easier for you to contest that mid prio. You probably won't get out-poked, and it'll be easy for you to set up vision on the bottom side of the map. Because if we look right now, not a whole lot of control for Wildcard, even though they do have Scuttle and they are starting to set up deep vision now.
There we go. This is what we need to see out of them. This is actually a good turnaround. It's pretty much asking for what you want to see. And the problem for me is that if you're going to have Nemesis in a side lane, he's got to have the TP available. Sending him up into that top lane by himself without TP, well, it's risking a lot. It's risking a lot that Winthrop might then be able to punish you with, especially now that Heibaragi is about to have that TP up. Mabud's already got the TP available, and we only have 45 seconds until the Ocean Soul potential can be there for Winthrop. And if they can get a pick, that's a good way to make sure they can deny the other side from getting anything.
Oh, the healing!
Huge! The showstopper into the backline coming in from Animate Girl as Crabapple had to get over the wall, but it's going to be the chase down coming in from Nemesis. Another heal from Grim to keep him alive. How does Crabapple Boy keep doing this? As Mavud's got the ultimatum onto Nemesis, looking for one more slice with the tactical protocol to slice him down, but the flash in! The Frisbee was able to get 1-for-1!
But again, this is just so much is used by Wildcard here, Magical. And if you look at Grim in these fights, the healing that he's outputting is absolutely ridiculous. That redemption being the second item that he builds as well means he just gives so much to his team in these team fights. And now, oh my God!
What's that? Wildcard, you gotta play more respectful than that. 3 members down, that's an Ocean Soul.
You know what, though? They wanted to push up because it's like you said, it's an Ocean Soul match. You can't let this go. So they were hoping that they could catch somebody, that they could face check and do something. Don't ask me what. I don't know, but they were hoping for something clearly, because this is not this is a terrible game state to be in at the moment. You're down 5k gold. You have the Soraka who is already healing the hell out of people. Like, it is unreal how difficult it is to kill the members of Winthrop B. And now that they have this Ocean Soul,
You just don't kill them.
Yeah, they don't die anymore. It's kind of done.
Yeah, unless you can burst them, you're not killing them ever, because they'll just reset the fight over and over again every single time. And the big problem to me is the fact now we see an Oblivion Orb coming in from Pseudo. We still don't see anything out of Nemesis, out of Psycho to help cut through that. And usually if you see a Soraka, you want to focus the Soraka. You want to focus onto her, but they can't get her just yet because they got Heiberagi first. That's a big shutdown, though. Gifted over to Nemesis. Double kill, too, with the Baron up. Wait a minute. This just suddenly turned around.
And that's a really nice catch out play. You know Mavwood is showing on that bottom wave, has no teleport to speak of. With Grim committing the wish, there really isn't a whole lot they can do here. They can try to poke, they can try to harass, but man, unless there's no smite. Crab doesn't have smite.
Redemption Steel! Come on, where's the Redemption Steel? I know, Grim, you've got this, I believe. 2v5, the bubble, the shield, though, for
Why won't he die?
They can't kill him! He's unkillable, but at least they got the damn Baron while their base is being opened up.
Man, yeah, and Mavwood will be able to drop that turret, and you still recover a lot of gold here for Wildcard. So that is still a good play from them to be able to just stack around the Baron. You know top isn't there. You know Wish isn't available. You jump right on top of them, use all that dive you have, and you get 2 very crucial kills. It was more contested than it had any reason to be, Magical, but Wildcard still get the Baron.
I was really hoping that Grim would go for the YOLO Redemption Steal.
He didn't have smite.
You go for the YOLO Redemption Steal, though. That's what it is. You don't even hold on to it to save yourself. You go for the little bit of damage that, what is it, like 100 damage it does to neutrals? You go for that.
Okay, that's fair. It could have been something, but he didn't die. I think that's what bothered me.
Wait a minute. Anime Girl, you didn't want that fight.
No.
But he's got 5 kills now.
I mean, to be fair, it was close for like a little bit, but then, you know, Wish, Redemption.
Yep.
Yep.
And you know, I was gonna say, normally when you see a Soraka comp, you focus the Soraka, right? That's who you want to kill first. But it's hard when she's got a redemption, because
she's gone.
Where's going to be the redemption? We're going to wait to see if that cooldown's going to come up in time to help out the rest of the team. But they're looking for the kill on the Heiberagi. Double kill for Pseudo as they got the kill on Koskinen. Grab Apple Boy. You don't got that Soraka this time. You're not going to survive for any longer. They're looking to chase you down. But wait a minute. No way. No goddamn way. But Bud, dude,
Look
the
at
back door.
Bud.
He's about to take one next turn. Nemesis is there. The hook shot away. But all the while, the minions are being escorted down the mid lane, and Mabud, you gotta be cautious because now your own base is getting cracked open wide.
Wow, and it actually looks like Pseudo picks up the
Wait
kill.
a minute, no way.
Wait, what is going on?
Oh no, Nemesis, no, you're the chosen one. And another kill. This Camille, this split push cannot be stopped.
And that bot wave is just continuously being escorted, but Wildcard.
Double TP. Double
Wait.
TP. Oh, okay, no. They've gone the other way.
I think.
Empowered
recalls. Empowered recalls.
Okay, they got one off, but Rapid Pseudo, they're pretty far right in the arcade. Poke. A lot of damage onto Rapid, but not enough to be able to pick up a kill. Another heal, and now this is going to be the YOLO recall, but the minions were able to fight you out. The flash in from Grim. It's going to be a kill, gifted over to the Soraka, but Nami will escape.
Wow. Well, Magical, they got an inhibitor. Some extra gold in your pocket. That Baron buff did come in handy, even though it is going to expire now. And I mean, that all starts because realistically, there was a bit of a disrespectful play coming from Crabapple, and I think it was Grim in that mid lane, walking up. Whole team is dark, not on vision. You don't know where anyone in Wildcard developmental is, and you just get absolutely destroyed. There was no wish, there was no redemption. So even though you have the Ocean Soul, you don't want to be giving away big chunks of gold like that, because that would be Wildcard's way back into the game. If they manage to somehow pick up Mavwood Shutdown and the next Baron, then maybe. Will they?
It does remain to be seen, but we do have good news for Wildcard.
Talk to me.
The Kansas Tech Putrefier has been completed
Okay.
by Pseudo. Finally, they can
Yes.
cut through the damn healing of
Maybe.
Grim. Maybe.
The thing is, even though 60% is not 100% magical, so we'll find out.
We'll find out right now as Grim goes golden to survive a little bit longer, but they have focused on to the Soraka. They've got the kill, but at what cost? That's a huge punch, though, out of Anime Girl. Psycho going in, going to be able to get the kill in the backline, but this ultimatum out of
But
Mamona,
it's too strong!
ripping them apart! They've got the ace, finally, for Winthrop, and with the minions in the bot lane, they can end this game.
Oh, the healing is too strong. Even at 40%, Winthrop cannot die. And they're going to take game 1 in a painfully decimating fashion.
It has been quite a battle, and it looked like maybe Wildcard had gotten a couple fights to go their way, but we kind of knew that the scaling was always on Winthrop's side, and a 9-0 Camille to be the icing on the cake for game 1.
Great performance coming through from Winthrop B. And I think the interesting thing, too, is that bottom lane. Like, we talked about Soraka in the draft and how she's a stat checker for healers. And we saw it there. Nobody heals like that champion, not even Yui. And it's just egregious how much she's able to make it so that Grim can just keep the whole team topped up. Once you build Redemption as well, you saw how it went down, except for some fights that really, it was some questionable plays coming from the side of Winthrop B. There was very few angles Wildcard could get back into the game. And it kind of all starts from the early game, like you were talking about, Magical. You pick Lucian Nami, you want to stomp level 1.
Exactly.
Well, they got killed level 2.
And it pretty much made it so that they were clawing back from the entire rest of that game. And unfortunately, they were not able to overcome the beast that was the Soraka Leona bot lane. Game 1 goes over to Winthrop's B team. We're going to toss to a break when we come back. Ravish and Desrex will break down this first game and probably tell us why Soraka's busted. Stick around.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back yet again to the UPL. I will be your host for the evening, ravishing, the most ravishing man of the internet, joined here yet again by the ever so abrasive, yet the one who touches my heart. I hate it as much as, you know what's fine, I will let my feelings, thank you much for saying that, but yet again, it is a new day and a new dawn and a new day at UPL, so we do have to have a new fantastic guest with us, and we do, besides a prominent member of the amateur community, the phenomenal and the wonderful Miss Sausage Fest. How are you? Oh, you... Oh, talk to me about this box here, baby. What you got in the box? Wow. Well, one might say that she is the amateur home baker. Follow her on Instagram. Wait, hold on. Let him pull it out first. Let's see what he has. Yes. Wonderful, Madeline. That is wonderful. All right, now go ahead. Yeah, it's Amy. Go ahead and explain two things for me. Firstly, number one, the joke. Number two, about your wonderful products that you have shipped to Eric in that box.
Oh, I've been muted?
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Were you muted? Am I muted? Oh! Oh, okay.
We've
That's
been
weird.
muted the entire
That's
time,
really
bro. Nobody
awkward.
said
We're muted
anything.
this whole time.
Oh,
But anyways,
my God.
so I make
All
battle
right, cool.
lines.
Hi.
I sent Destruct a.
Hey, Radish here. That's really it. And this, of course, yet again, Amy Sausage Fed Choi, what a phenomenal person. Amy, tell us about what you do and what do you got there, real quick. Let's go.
Okay, I bake Madeleines. I'm a home baker. I have my company called the Amateur Home Baker. I sent Destruct some Madeleines, and I sent him a meme Madeline, a custom flavor in reference to strawberry milk, which was a trend back a few months back, and I commented saying it's actually period milk because of the way it looked, and so I made custom Madeleines for Destructs wrapped in an always pad box called period milk flavor. But it's really just, it's cranberry. Trust me, it's cranberry. It's edible. But that's what I did.
Wonderful. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram and everywhere at the Amateur Home Baker. You can also find our Twitter at also Amy Bok Choi as well. And
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on the desk. Kitsuo, over to you.
Kids, let's go ahead and bring in Kitsuo. Kitsuo, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, Ravi?
Man, I hope you're doing well, man, because we're actually having a great day. Very, very happy to hear it. And y'all don't know Kitsuo, bro. My man is stand-up citizen of society, and of course the phenomenal jungler at UST. Champions in C-Law currently for everything that is worthwhile looking at. So, Kitsuo, why don't you talk to us a little bit about what that game was and what you saw?
So last game, it was pretty much the story of Mabud and Mordio. Like Mordio showing the aggression on the Graves and playing the strong side on the Camille. And they had a really good plan going into the draft. They picked the Soraka in the bot lane, which is something that pairs really, really well with that Camille and that Graves because they can play that weak side. They can keep the Lucian and Nami in check. And then when they get to those mid-game team fights, or even when they're just fighting across the map at level 6, Soraka gets to use that wish, help them out on the top side of the map, and make sure like they guaranteed win those 2v2s. And even if there's like roams or anything from it, just like accounts for everything. It synergizes really well with how Graves wants to play with the shield bow. So like in the mid game, especially with the addition of the removal of Grievous wounds on the ultimate, that just helps so much more on how like the way that Graves and Camille want to play team fights. And with the lead they got early game, there was nothing that Wildcard could do to come back once they got that lead.
And it's nice to see it as well, because I know this is something Winthrop's been trying to pull off for a while, having those more, I want to say oppressive bot lanes. You know, they've done the Seraphine Zyra, the Zigzillion. They've been really trying to just put mages in the bot side, and they finally got it all to come together this time. It was a pretty good display, and it was a pretty dominant display overall. I really liked what showed up, what Winthrop really brought to the table this time around, just trying to adapt their strategies and, you know, really take it to someone like Wildcard, who is a really prominent team in this tournament.
And the biggest thing off of all that too is like you find that with the way they play the unorthodox play style, I find it, because look, Soraka Leona isn't really a thing, right? More often than not, nobody's really running it. And like when the meta that we currently see today, besides the Yuumi, which by the way is a awful thing that we stepped into in the world's meta, just like past that, we don't see a ton of like actual like, you know, like Enchanter or SC healing bot lanes too, considering how well they're able to synergize on just playing split push like on the other end, which makes me very happy that split push is still a viable strategy. Know each other, Camille, and nobody died in half those team fights, by the way. Like, it's just, you got like one kill, but then they were able to just simply walk out one after another, which, by the way, is insane to me. Soraka is broken. Hear me, Carol, hear me now. And I'm looking forward to the next game here, the gentlemen. Do you think that we, of course, expect Wildcard to change up and like make sure to shut down maybe perhaps the things that Winthrop has in their back pocket?
I don't know. This is a tough one, Ravish, because Winthrop is a squad we've seen pretty much punching above their weight class for a while. We saw them do it with Dinka squad over in AoE Dreams, and now we're starting to see this unfold with this matchup in Wildcard. I am liking what they bring. I'm liking the aggression. They work really well when it comes to just really popping off in the mid game. And I do think they have a chance to do another upset here. I think Winthrop might be able to take this 2-0.
I agree a lot with yeah, go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay, I agree a lot with what Desrex is saying. The Mabud and Mordio topside is just looking so strong, and I think if Wildcard wants to come back from this game, they're gonna have to think of something more. Like, I don't even know if there's anything that they can pick that's stronger than the Lucian Nami right now, and like to take over the bot side of the map. And if they can't do that, then they're gonna have to somehow match the aggression on the top side.
I mean, yeah, consider what we got going on here, 100% of these few ways are shutting down what they got so that way they can enter into much more even states in a ebb and flow, if you will, just neutralize going into that mid game so they're not just completely caught off guard and suddenly next to you know there's a chameleon in your base and you're losing 4 of your members, and even though you get an almost a full ace, you cannot end the game. An interesting state to be in, but one that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing. Now, with that being said, when I head out to a cast, you had to get Mad Magical beat down Boulevard. Things in the game number 2. Let's get it.
Hello, welcome back to the UPL Casters Desk. I got it right this time. I mean, hopefully be done.
I mean, I wish it was LPL.
Well, I was like, you know, maybe hold your breath on that one. We'll see, maybe,
Okay.
knock on wood, how the future unfolds for all those things, because you definitely deserve it. But we do got to get through this day first, getting through
True.
Game 2. It's a best of 3, so there's all the potential in the world that Wildcard Developmental can bounce back as they are swapping over to the blue side to try to see if maybe that's what they need to do to really shift up how things had gone in the last game, because I like that they got the Lucian Nami, but they didn't play aggressively enough with it right out of the gates.
So we might see some draft priorities change. Maybe a little more late game insurance on their end, because it's really difficult to, even though Lucian now does do pretty good damage later on, because him being the shorter range AD carry, he does have to get into their effective range, and it's very difficult for Psycho to actually navigate a lot of these team fights, especially from this even or behind game state that Wildcard found themselves in. So I'm wondering if they go a different direction in the AD carry role, maybe mid. There's a couple of things they might look to change, and I'm pretty confident they're going to ban the Soraka.
I mean, you'd hope so, but the thing is,
I would
we've
think
seen
so.
the Seraphine before, now we've seen the Soraka. What else have they been practicing? What other shenaniganery
Yumi's up
that we've
there.
been seeing in the bot lane from them? The Soraka Leona, I mean, I was expecting them to get dumpstered. I was expecting level 1 to
Yeah.
get E onto Lucian. He uses his own E, gets in there, takes down the Soraka to half health, rinse and repeat until you're either killing them or getting every single summoner out of them.
Right. If you do run the lane again, you just got to be a little more aggressive, especially in a matchup where they're playing to scale, where they have no little to no early game little to early game like ability to do much of anything. Agency is the word I'm looking for. So I mean, if you're looking to, and you're especially looking to bounce back if you're a wild card, because they've only lost one game so far in their group this split, but they've still yet to play AoE Cope like we talked about, and they're probably the best team. So just trying to get yourself the best standing you can get before facing off someone like that, I think is going to be really important for them too. And who knows, we've seen these reverse sweeps come through before.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can happen. It's a best of 3. What have you learned from that first game? What was really an issue? And I think an issue that was an underlying problem for them was shutting down but in the side lane to really make sure this Camille wasn't starting to take over. And there's so many great TPs in the early stages of the game that Anime Girl just left alone completely, letting Camille run rampant while not even many plates were taken all the while.
Yeah, it is tough. But I would have found a lot of really good TP angles. Maybe thinking of looking or taking, looking to ban or taking away that Camille is another thing to think of yourself. Something maybe with a better matchup. If you are going to be blinding top lane as well, there's a lot of things to think about here, and a lot of champions that did very well on Winthrop side. But I think the main one that really catalyzed all of their success was the Soraka. So I think that's what we're going to see get taken off the board immediately.
Yeah, I would expect that too, because when we look at the bans that Wildcard had gone for on red side, Seraphine, Ziggs, and Yuumi. I mean, now you don't have to ban the Yuumi. You can first pick that if it's left open for yourselves. You have that opportunity to take away pretty much the same to the Ziggs and Seraphine, as well as the Soraka, and if Winthrop themselves don't ban Yuumi, immediately first pick it.
Right, and that's another one too to mention as well. We could just very well see Wildcard take with the Seraphine ban, just go for getting rid of all those big healers like right away in the first wave. Get rid of Seraphine, the Yuumi, the Soraka, because whatever's still up, they could just easily prioritize that for themselves if they really want to.
As now, Seraphine, of course, banned, expected. Not too surprising there, but does Winthrop continue the same bans from last time? Yone, LeBlanc, Aurelia. Honestly, I think you do. It all was perfectly fine. Their draft didn't seem to be really encumbered by the side of Wildcard, so why change if it ain't broke?
Right. I'm curious to see if we'll see the Graves drafted again if it makes it through for Winthrop side. I think it's especially nice on red side because of how strong a flex it is, how good it is in the solo lanes, and I'd be interested to see if Mabud or Heibaragi have that in their wheelhouse just because of how strong it has been this last little while here. How much Graves is able to do when he has more gold levels, itemization with that Negan build I was talking about earlier.
I mean, and there's also a reason why Graves has just been dominating so far. You can play him in the jungle perfectly fine. Top lane, what can you do to him? He's completely neutralized that lane. There's no way to really touch him. So here, just if you want to, I think honestly that Graves, while being strong, isn't nearly as powerful as getting sent and say as the Yuumi would be. That LeBlanc being banned again by Winthrop.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the Yone, LeBlanc, Aurelia, probably what we're going to see for the most part here. It's looking like Seraphine Soraka is enough in the Enchanters list for Wildcard because they're just going to get rid of the Ziggs once again. Still is really strong pick, so not surprising on their end. What are they prioritizing? That's the question for me. I'm really interested to see what they actually grab for themselves. And who knows, maybe they actually bring out the Yuumi for themselves here too, but still a lot of power picks available. Misfortune. If you're magical, Amumu's still available, but it's just for magical.
I mean, Amumu, Misfortune bot lane, Curse of the Sad Bullet Time can always be there, but Aurelia is going to be the ban here, and this is your chance. Pseudo, do you want to play the Yuumi? If you don't take it, you better bet that Winthrop are going to grab that for themselves.
Just waiting for the lock-in. Come on.
Oh.
Okay, so the Graves would make sense. You take that away. You can give it to Rapid, Anime Girl. Okay, it's going to be locked in. There you go.
All right, I'm a bit surprised by that, and
Yeah.
there I'd expect it to be that Yumi. I mean, do you want to go Yumi Misfortune? Do you want to go for the classic Yumi Ezreal, something that's going to be a bit safe into the likes of a Lucian Nami that possibly could be played by Psycho and Pseudo, or you want to just make sure that you can deny even that Yumi and Lucian can easily both be picked up here.
Well, there's the Yumi, just like you said, and it's interesting too because with how this meta has been shaping up, where it's about finding leads mid, it's about translating them through top. The reason we're seeing these enchanters really start to come back is you just want a free laning phase. You just want the ability to safely farm while the rest of your team focuses all their attention on the other side of the map for the most part here. And with that Misfortune lock-in, you pretty much guarantee yourselves exactly that if you're Winthrop B's side here. Grim, Koskinen, a very safe laning phase. We've seen this matchup play into the likes of the Lucian Nami, and it's not really, as long as you respect the level 1, level 2, there isn't really a whole lot you have to worry about here. And I'm curious if Wildcard actually going to go that route again. Ezreal I actually like better.
So the Ezreal, maybe it's going to be Ezreal Leona, something like that, where you're going to have a little bit more of the scaling
Big
on
fan.
your side. You're also, it's more of that uninteractive lane phase. You don't
Yep.
really want to do anything. Personally, I know you're a big fan of it, but I'm a big fan of action and fighting
course.
and wanting to skirmish immediately. The Lucian Nami has that, but also, I mean, if it's a Thresh, that'd be interesting too. But
Oh.
another one that we've seen a couple times would be like Kai'Sa Nautilus. The problem is, it's like,
Ooh.
again, something I've talked with a lot of coaches about is no one seems to understand the early aggression you need to have into a Yumi lane. So going for something like an Ezreal and Leona is more saying that they understand that they aren't really as efficient at or as practice on going for those level 1 exchanges. They want to play a lot safer so they can also scale the same as the Misfortune Yumi.
Right, and I mean, if it makes you feel better, Magical, it doesn't mean they won't fight. I'm sure they'll interact. I'm sure they'll be poking each other out, and
But
when
not
the
at
junglers
level
do
1.
come through,
But
oh
not
my
at
God.
level 1.
Yeah, you know what? You're just so hard to please, Alex. That's the thing. You want these really specific niche. I think California has done something to you, man. It's
you
gotten you so
you got to
picky.
flash forward. Flash is an offensive summoner.
Of
You've got to
course.
fight level 1.
Of
I want to
course.
see
Mhm.
everyone level 1
Mhm.
5
Yeah,
v
let me
5
just write this
fights.
down.
Let's get a pentakill right out of the
Mhm.
gates for both teams.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I just want stuff like that. Is that so difficult to ask?
I mean, I'm not actually writing. This is a napkin, so yes.
Oh, well, this is a notebook.
I mean, you didn't write any of that down, so. Oh, yeah, he's just gonna write it down. What did I do? I'm sorry, chat. What else? Let's talk about the game. What do we got going on here? Lee Sin, love that. Big fan. Yeah, Magical. Thoughts on Lee Sin?
Eh.
What? You want fight? Lee Sin is like the premier let's fight all the time champion. You don't like him?
Oh, no, it's just more, is he fighting level 1?
He's fighting level 3. He's a jungler.
Should fight level 1. There we go, I wrote it down.
You're gonna need to put it closer. I can't see. This guy actually wrote it down. I have no words.
Yeah.
My words have failed me.
Well, I hope that soon they will be able to not fail you and they'll be able to succeed. Because right now,
will need
we have
them.
Azir and Yasuo, both banned by Winthrop. But on the other side, the Victor taken away from Haberagi, even though Nemesis had played that previously, and actually was the shining light on that team, someone who was getting a lot of damage done in those fights and someone who could rip them apart. But they want to take it away. They don't even want to see Haberagi play it, but they've left open Rise. Last game, completely untouched by both teams. Well, you look towards Worlds, Rise, Twisted Fate, even like the LeBlanc, who is banned. These are like the 3 top mid lane champions that we see time and time again.
Yeah, and it is interesting. I mean, like you were saying, the Victor was a big bright spot for Wildcard's composition, something they don't want to let go, and it's something they clearly are prioritizing over the Rise. As like you said, it gets through for Haberagi, and it is a strong mid lane pick. You do have this option now to counter pick on the top side there for Winthrop. What is Mavwood going to run into the Camille if that actually gets locked in? Because that was what he was playing last game. Never mind.
The Kennen that had been banned in the previous game towards Mabud has now been taken away by Anime Girl. Instead, going to be running that in the top lane. Rapid on to the Graves jungle. But what does Mabud, like you said, what do you run into this? Do you want it? You can't go for Jace because it's already been banned. One of the best matchups into it. But if we get something spicy, you know me, I like my spicy picks. I want something a little bit more fun. And Mundo, you know, he might be a solid tank, but at least it's Mundo, and I can respect the Mundo.
Yeah, and it's not too bad. Like, he has that passive spell shield, so I think in lane it's going to be solid. He'll be able to farm out with his Q. He can poke if he really wants to. He's probably not going to get shoved in the lane, but I think overall that's a pretty safe thing. You get yourself a lot of front line too, and I mean, Magical, if you're getting run down by a Mundo with a Yuumi attached to him 20 minutes in, what are you going to do? And he's ulting? Like, it is insane. And this is like what I'm talking about here. When you have something like the Yuumi especially, you can go put him on your mid laner, your jungler, your top laner. In how these fights are going to go, it's going to be tough. We now at least have... I like the draft, though, on Wildcard side. Let me just put that out there. Because you do have a lot of team fight potential there. You have the Shockwave. You have that Slicing Maelstrom. So you can get some good team fights in. What do you want to say?
Sork boots Mundo.
No.
Why not?
Why?
Meat cleavers.
You're a tank, and also they do percent health damage.
Yeah, meat cleavers.
Why meat? Why not?
Well, I mean,
like,
because they're for meat. They cut meat. Don't you know Mundo's lore?
I don't think it's... Never mind. I don't want to get into that. I'm just going to take your word for it.
All right. Well, I mean, I will say, Zork Boots Mundo used to be a thing, because it does do magic damage. So it could be... I mean, I doubt it's going to be that. That's a whole other thing. But you know what's more important? Why don't we send it to some ads before we get into our second game? We'll be right back. Enjoy these ads.
Olipop is delicious. 7 different flavors to choose from. Usually when someone says it's good for you, the big question is what does it taste like? Well, the ginger lemon tastes like ginger ale with lemonade added to it. Olipop. The strawberry vanilla tastes like strawberry shortcake in a can. It's like dessert for after dinner, during dinner. Olipop. Don't just take my word for it. Head over to drinkolipop.com and pick out your favorite flavor.
Welcome back. We are here for Game 2 of our best of 3 Wildcard Developmental Winthrop B. It is a 0-1 series with the latter having the edge after that Game 1. The Soraka looked pretty good on that matchup, but here it has been banned away, but we get Yuumi instead into the bot lane.
All right, now I want to talk about what I want to go a little more into Wildcard's comp and why I do like it. Like, it's going to be really good for these team fights later on, because even though Mundo has his passive spell shield, he doesn't have like 6 of them, because that's what he's going to need to avoid all the CC that Wildcard does have on their side. And I'm looking at Enemy Girl for a lot of these plays. It's the thing with Kennen too, is that finding these really good positions for you to go in with your ultimate to set up these big plays, flank TPs. But I think there's a unique option for you to be able to just kind of go straight in with them if you want as well, because usually you go for these flanks because the enemy has something like Leona or some top laner with a lot of hard CC. That's not present on Winthrop's side. So you can actually find yourself, if you see a good angle, you can just run straight into Winthrop too with that Slicing Maelstrom.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's going to be the big thing. And then you have a Shockwave on top of that, Solar Flare, collateral damage, True Shot Barrage. They can really rip apart an entire team if it's not played properly by Winthrop. But when we look at how their team composition wants to really be, it's like they got good scaling. They've got also really good disruption tools. The Lee Sin, you had already talked about how good he is in the early game, but he's also really good at keeping people away. So Kennen, dives into them, we'll
That's
just
true.
kick them out. Just be like, nope, we're not dealing with that. And so I'm really hoping that Crabapple Boy, as opposed to being more of the initiator for the team, is going to be more of that tool to peel for them.
Right, and I'm interested too. Winthrop definitely do have avenues where they can control some of these fights if they want to, especially like you talked about. Crabapple Boy on this Lee Sin can find these clutch kicks and being able to isolate someone in that Winthrop can be able to take someone down. And it makes it better too when you throw the Yumi on top of him. So technically, Crabapple could be running you down. It could be Mabud on this window running you down, trying to set someone up. It makes it a lot easier for you to go get some of these picks because of that final chapter and its ability to lock people down.
Well, and that's going to be the thing. It's like you can go for these picks, but we know that Wildcard are going to try, once they get to a certain point, just be a goon squad, moving around the map as a unit. And this is why I'm curious to see how Winthrop will adapt to this, what they change, how they approach some of these team fights later on, if they are at an even state, similar to how last game might have been a bit even between the two teams, but we knew that one team outscaled the other.
And speaking of, last game did go to Winthrop, so Wildcard are looking to tie the score and try to get themselves another win here in the UPL fall. Because if you do fall here, it's going to be another loss for you. They do need to win 2 more if they want to come back. And I mean, this time around, things do look better on the bottom side of the map. They're fighting a little bit. Magical. Look at Grim's HP. It's a little low, so you're getting something, right?
Yeah, but look at Psychos, too. These prowling projectiles just connecting each time, whittling down this poor Ezreal. Then you get Make It Rain, too. You have Arcane comment on to Grim to constantly poke out. But really, the big point that we have to talk about, though, or the fact that you did get both these summoners in the bot lane. You can set up a potential dive here, even though Psycho, these prowling projectiles are just doing so much work, and Psycho has to just leapfrog over Pseudo to survive.
What?
Oh, okay, that was close. Meat Cleaver 2, that's a flash burn by Mabud. Just to look for that, the TP for safety. The Meat Cleaver connects, but it's the Sonic Wave that gets just in time.
Okay.
That was something. That was something special, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was. I mean, to his credit, I will give him. I've never seen that happen before. I'll give Enemy Gold credit. He wants to TP out because as soon as that next phase comes through, he's dead anyway. So he's trying something. That was just. I don't know. That was funny. That was funny.
The thing is, it's like, yeah, you want to try to survive, but you're still dead, bud.
Yeah.
Why waste the TP? Now you're on a long cooldown that you don't have.
That's
and
true.
Mabud's got this advantage to join up these fights, like we saw last game. Even though Anime Girl had the TP available, Mabud was always the first to channel the TP to join these team fights, and now you've just given that advantage over to Mundo.
Right, so it's already up in gold and XP because of that wave. The Anime Girl ended up losing. The being disadvantaged is unfortunate. That's why you see the at least Anime Girl does have that team fight utility later on, so it's not too bad. But I think overall, I am expecting to see still more activity from Wildcard's side because you can see it. Rapid, he has these lanes with priority, and he's going to be able to go for some of these invades, steal jungle camps over from Crabapple Boy because Pseudo has had the push with Psycho in the bottom lane too. He can look for these plays. He can help Nemesis get the shove, get the jump on Heiberagi in case he gets too aggressive.
But they weren't actually able to get anything from that play. Not even a flash out of Heiberagi. TP still available too because he got a cheater recall on previously. Top lane, an attempted gank on Mabud, but it's Mundo. He goes where he damn pleases. You're not really going to be able to do much to him. And now Crabapple Boy is in the area.
I wonder how close Mabud is to level 6 because otherwise I don't really see a favorable fight going, but Crabapple Boy is just going for it. Mabud is level 6. Oh no!
There it is. Sonic Wave, the follow-up, the damage, the flash away from Rapid, but here come the Meat Cleaver. Slow. Each time landing these skill shots, and there was a kill bot lane onto Psycho. This looks familiar from last game. Pseudo goes back in onto Koskinen, but the supportal combat. We've seen Yumi solo kills at Worlds, and we might be seeing one here. Waiting for the prowling projectile, but the slows, the heals, it will be enough for Pseudo to barely make it out alive.
Wow, that was very tense. I was clenching Not gonna lie, I didn't know if Pseudo was gonna make it out of there, but he does get to recall. Koskinen gets to do the same, but it's tough because Psycho is gonna lose out on a good amount of farm because it is stuck just a little further in the lane towards Grimm's turret. But I think overall here, Wildcard are struggling a little bit. Not a whole lot of plays being found by Rampant that are working, and quite the opposite for Crabapple Boy. He's level 6 now. He's gotten 2 kills for himself, and if there's a play in the mid lane, like, he's going to be there ready for it. I think the only thing Wildcard really have going for them right now is because it isn't as easy for Koskinen to move around the map right now. But Pseudo, he's all over the place, man. He's ready.
But he hasn't made that play yet.
Nope.
Even that kill he's got was just because they were able to get the kill on to Grimm. They need to actually have something work out. Like this play mid lane, they got the flash out of Haberagi, but he's still alive, and they aren't level 6. Level 4, level 5, only Nemesis was level 7. So if you want to get anything, you gotta start leveling up first.
Yeah, the XP is lacking a little bit on Wildcard side, and honestly, props to Haberagi, does flash the Shockwave. That is a big reason of why he lives in that exchange, and he's just going to keep himself alive here in this matchup. Even though he is down a bit of farm, Nemesis has been farming quite well for himself.
Yeah,
but still, Rise scales up, man. Even if
Yeah,
he's a couple
that's
CS
the thing.
behind. Oh, and he's down 10 gold too.
Right, there's no real lead, and well, yeah, you could make an argument. Orianna also scales immensely, and is going to be scary later on. You can't just have the Orianna that you're relying on. You have a 0-2 cannon. Your bot lane has only a singular kill onto your Leona, with the Yumi also having a kill. We need to see, and then there's the 2 kills on the Crabapple Boy. We need to start seeing more out of Wildcard, where they're actually stopping all this early pressure that's coming out from Winthrop. And now another dive being set up onto poor Anime Girl, using the Sliced Maelstrom onto my bud to clear out some of the minions, but they can just tag you, kick you, get the kill for Haberagi.
And it's just that simple. And this is what we were talking about, getting these leads mid and translating them into the top lane. When you have an ultimate like that Realm Warp, it's so easy for you to move up top and make plays like that. But because you didn't have that wave shove, Nemesis will be pressuring the turret a little bit. It looks like he did get the turret plate and cost Haberagi some farm. Now we gotta play
Here we go. This is the kind of plays you need to start going for a wild card. They got the kill onto Koskinen and Shockwave onto Grimm. They tag him too with the Arcane Pulse. One more, looking to see if Rapid's going to be able to escape from this one, but it's Mundo chasing him down and gifting him over to Haberagi.
Oh, there could be more if Haberagi wants to go for it here, but actually, it's looking like he doesn't have an angle.
Girl?
And Crabapple.
Anime Girl flashed for it.
Okay.
Wasn't. Unfortunately, only one stack there. If it had been the second stack too, then you flash in, get the stun, easy kill on a Crabapple Boy, but it's just flash for flash.
Right, and even though you don't get the turret, you do get a lot of gold in Crabapple Boy's pocket, and we're seeing it. He's stacking kills, he's stacking gold. Those turret plays certainly help too. One more play topside, and that turret is going to go down. You will get that bonus gold. You are Winthrop B. And this is just, they've been finding all these advantages in the early game. We need Wildcard to find more angles like they did in that bot lane play magical, because being able to pick up some of these kills using all the teamfight tools you have is going to be so very important.
And it was still a good play out of Wildcard to
absolutely.
get some leads, and that's what we were asking for. They got the Dragon, the neutral. They've got the kills bot lane. It was a 2-4-1. Well, yeah, you would have liked Rapid to have lived there. At least you're getting these kills into some of your carries. You got one on Psycho. Now, unfortunately, one went over to Pseudo too, but honestly, at this rate, you don't care. It doesn't matter what's going on. You're getting everything and anything you possibly can. If you can get another kill for Psycho 2, that's going to be another big win for the side of Wildcard.
Well, it's actually looking like 2 wins potentially.
Okay,
No,
flash.
Mabud will flash, but still, winning that 2v2 bot is a big deal. Like, they've been consistently picking up these kills on the bottom side of the map here. Psycho is now 2-1-2. He's gotten a considerable lead.
Pseudo, what was happening there? No, you won. You had won. You just needed to leave. Now it's 4-0 Lee Sin. Oh no, it's all the humanity.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. You still do get that wave shove. But yeah, it's as you say, like, you give away more kills to Crabapple Boy, who is just continuously picking up a lot of this gold, not respecting that he could be in the area, especially when your jungler clearly showed topside, clearly made a play onto that window. So yeah, you just give him
Didn't
more
you talk
gold away.
about that 2 beatdown? You talked about Lee Sin with the Yumi on top.
I did.
Hey, Baragi. He does get shut down by a Nemesis. These are incremental wins for Wildcard. But please, you get that win there. Don't lose out somewhere else on the map. That's been a theme here for them, and it's got me a little worried.
Things are definitely a little tough. Pseudo is looking. Oh, we have the TP in.
Oh, nice solar flare too. The shutdown gold for Psycho is going to be massive
Oh,
as the
Rapid's here
cat
too.
is taken down by Rapid.
There it is. You do have to overload a bit, but you do end up making that plane, picking up a big shutdown. And it's a good thing it was big, Magical, because Mava does take that first turret, does get a lot of gold injected into his back pocket. Coupled with the fact that he's up 30 CS, it is very... Oh, whoa, hold on.
Okay, Rapid does get the blue buff.
Okay.
He'll be fine. He's got the backup right behind him. No, we didn't have to worry about the Lee Sin this time around. We already knew that he was dead, and it would only just respawn. So that play, this is great. This is what I was asking for from Wildcard. Like I said, I was getting worried. There just seemed to be a theme going on where they get these plays and then immediately get over even larger leads to Winthrop. There, they get shut down over for Psycho. They get they get a blue buff for Rapid. Take that away from both Haberagi and Crab Apple Boy. And even if they lose out on the top turret, it's the gold from a Bud on Mundo. Going for the tanky route. Yeah, sure, you want the gold regardless for Winthrop, but the fact that it goes over for Mundo is going to be a nice little relief for Wildcard, so they can make plays elsewhere. Maybe try to see if they can find Grim, but again, Crab Up Boy is the one you really got to fear. That is going to be True Shot Barrage doing a lot of damage to Grim, but they've lost Rapid in the meanwhile with the stun on Psycho. Crab Up Boy taking a lot of damage, though. They've got the zoom. He's the flash in from Pseudo, but hey, Baragi's here, the hero, to look for his own shutdown, but it's Crab Apple Boy who takes the kill, followed up with the Sonic Wave double kill.
Man, and again, a big turnaround here from Winthrop. They managed to just continue to pull things back. Even though Grim is down 1,000 gold at the moment here, he's able to still get off enough damage in that skirmish to get a kill. And it's just a big answer from Crab Apple Boy.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, even with the flash. Oh, no. What can you do with a blind man with a cat on his back?
Nothing, apparently. Just gets scratched and then killed. It's brutal.
It's brutal, and this is what I was saying. I was like, oh, that was great. Mabud was the one to get the turret last time. Well, now Hey Baragi gets the turret in the bot lane. That's the one you got to worry about. You got a 7-1 Lee Sin on the other side, and I said how Lee Sin, yeah, he fights early. He's got good skirmishing, but what does he do in these team fights, especially because that's what Wildcard had drafted? Well, with this much gold, he just kills everyone.
Right, like he's getting really close to that Sterix already. Going to get to a second item before a lot of people on Wildcard finish their first. So this is really brutal at this point, and this is kind of the idea here. Grim is a good amount of gold behind, yeah, but you still have the team fight ability with that bullet time. You still have a lot of damage on Habaragi's side as well. So your team fight is still not that bad. Wildcard still have to find a really good engage with a lot of the tools that they have. But so far, we haven't seen it. It's only just them overloading into that bot lane, trying to just continue the lead they have on Psycho in hopes that he'll be able to scale really hard and do a lot of damage later.
Well, and that is a nice thing about Ezreal, isn't it? It's like when it comes to the late game, when it comes to Siege, it's how they've changed him with how fast he takes these turrets. That is something you can reliably fall back to. Same with Nemesis, now getting the Leandries completed. Anime Girl, still struggling a bit on that Kennen, but it's not terrible. You got a couple assists, a little bit of extra gold packed to the Kennen. It's been a while since we've seen Crab Apple Boy pay a visit to the top lane. There's been a bit of a reprieve for them so they can get the gold to look for those team fights. But when I see 2 shutdowns on the other side, when I see a 2-1 Rise already with an Everfrost, I'm just wondering how you're even going to get to those team fights in the first place.
Yeah, it is a tough question to ask. We do have 1 dragon apiece, and we do know it is going to be the Mountain Soul. At this point, you are just trying to make plays if you can here in the side lane. If you can pick up a kill on Hey Baragi, that's a big deal. We're a few minutes away from any real objective, but just whatever kills you can get, I think, would be nice.
There's already 2 items. You talked about the Syrinx. There it is. Completed by
God.
Crab Apple Boy. He's already got it. We're only about 17 minutes into the game. 2 items completed. You've gone for cheaper routes on the other side just to be able to see if they can contend against it. And now Pseudo's been caught out away. They've got the kick on a Nemesis. It's going to be a shockwave stack with the Zenith Blade on top of Crabapple Boy. But they just can't kill the damn man. They've got the root on the Pseudo so the Grim can pick up the kill.
Oh, that exhaust comes in so clutch. And look at Crabapple Boy, already at 60% health, getting healed back up. And the fight just doesn't work out the way that you wanted to. It seems like the focus was split on Wildcard's side. You do cancel that Realm War from Haberagi, but nobody ends up threatening him at all. And now, speaking of threatened, Nemesis is the one who is under fire at the moment here. They're looking for him.
Yeah, they're looking for Nemesis and Rapid both at the same time, but as long as they can keep them pinned there, then this rotation from Crabapple Boy, from Haberagi to look mid lane, that tier 1 turret looking mighty juicy.
Certainly is. And yeah, with the fact that they have control over the bottom side jungle of Wildcard, it's going to be pretty easy for them to make that play. I think they're sitting in that bush by the Raptors too, so it's just brutal. You know Nemesis has to push bot.
Oh.
You know top has to be pushed in too. Oh yeah, here it comes.
Okay, Grim though, they got the kill. They got the shutdown before anyone else was able to make the call. And they got a solar flare too. Hey, Baragi flashed away with the flash coming in from Psycho to look to chase him down, but the body block out of Koskinen, making sure they can get the Zoomies to heal him up with the shield too. And another Zoomies. Hey, Baragi is somehow alive. The prowling projectile to slow down the ensuing fight coming in from Wildcard, so they have to turn their attention back to mid.
Still, this is a good win for them. Be able to get that gold, take Grim out of the picture, and get Shelly to charge into this turret. That is more gold that they need in their pockets. And because a lot of these tier 1 turrets haven't been touched this game by Wildcard, that is a lot of easy gold you can pick up for yourself as long as you keep continuing to make these plays. You just shift your attention now to top, maybe bottom lane, and that's just more gold you can pick up with some of these outer turrets. Kind of close the gap here because you still have your Ezreal Psycho, who is scaling pretty well. Once that second item comes through, those Mystic Shots are going to hurt a lot, and he's still doing a lot better than Grim in this matchup.
But I'm not looking at Grim here. I am looking at Crabapple Boy. Look at that commanding lead he has over Rapid. Nearly 3,000 gold over the opposing jungler.
That is a lot of gold, and then it feels exceptionally bad as Graves. At least now with that Ghost Blade, though, you still do a good amount of damage to squishy targets like Grim, Haberagi. Just, yeah, like you said, you don't have any hope of actually killing Crabapple Boy, but now they're making a play.
Looking for the play, but it's on to Mabud. Mabud's pretty damn tanky. Here's going to be the bullet time to clear out the minion waves because you put all your eggs into the basket of Mundo, and killing him, yeah, might have forced him out from this dragon for now. But Haberagi, Crabapple Boy, even Koskinen, they are waiting in the wings looking for a flank.
And it's going to be a pretty... Oh, man, they could just go in for the steal if they really want to. There's a ward in the pit.
Put it out.
Oh, they're going?
Waiting it out. Sonic Wave with the Shock Wave.
Oh.
This fight secure. The Lost Chapter does not help out. They've got the 2 kills. A shutdown, too. That's going to be the massive thing that they picked up for Anime Girl, and now the hunt is theirs. Wildcard chasing down Mabo. They've got a lot of damage on him, but they got the lockdown onto Rapid on the other side. Haberagi taking out one with them.
No one's looking at him.
Haberagi 1v4. It's doing work here. 2 kills for himself. Finally, he is silenced by Anime Girl. That's a lot lost there with the double up trade back of 1 for 1.
And that was a scrappy fight. So you secure the dragon if you're Wildcard, which is a big deal. I think you do manage to stack just a little bit closer to that Mountain Soul, which if you can get the other 2 dragons will be a big deal, a big win con for this roster. So the other thing too is that, well, you do punish Crabapple Boy. You use all the CC team fight tools that I kept talking about, and you just made it so Crabapple couldn't move. He was not able to actually function, couldn't use that Dragon's Rage. It just was irrelevant in that fight. The only problem I have now is that Haberagi was alone and untouched for a really long time, and he's the biggest source of DPS at the moment here for Winthrop B-side. So he's someone who, especially if he's in your backline, you got to turn and look at him.
Plus the fact that Anime Girl, the one they had put all that attention to in the early game to shut down, got the shutdown gold off of Crabapple. That is a lot this Kennen now has to bring to these fights. But this sneaky Baron take
God, they
from
don't
Winthrop,
know.
They have no idea. They are none the wiser. They haven't even sniffed it out. It's easily taken away.
It's just that easy. That feels terrible. Grim might be under fire. They could go for this.
This looks like a good fight out of Wildcard. Winthrop, you had to be more respectful than that. You've lost Haberagi on the other side to another shutdown gold out of Anime Girl, with Crab Apple Boy getting tagged by the Solar Flare and a kill for Rapid. But bud, you might be Takey, you might be Mundo, you might have a double kill, but can you fight against
He's
the
getting
walls right
healed.
now?
Wait!
He sure as hell can!
Is he gonna penta?
Triple kill! Looking for the quadra kill on Pseudo. You can't kill him. It's finally taken down, but the quadra kill out of Mundo. Koskinen against Psycho, dodging away from these kill shots as best he damn can. The cat on a book cannot fight against Psycho, even with the heal coming in from the honey fruit. He knows it's all a matter of time. He knows that even with the shields, the heals, everything in tow, it's finally gonna be the A's.
I mean, he might have been stalling for the teleport there, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to be happening. You do get rid of all the... Wow, man, that was a fight magical. You get rid of all the Baron buffs. That's the big thing for Wildcard side, right? They managed to make it so that there is no Baron play able to happen. It's just the extra gold you get from taking it down and nothing more. Problem is, we're seeing examples of what Mabud can do when you have the Yumi on this window. And the fact is, he got a quadra in a 1v5 scenario. So I still worry for how these fights are going to go later.
Technically a 2v5 if you count the cat on top.
I mean,
of the
yeah,
stack,
I guess
but,
so.
But either way, it's essentially just one body taking up all the damage throughout that entire fight. That was wild for sure out of my bud. Now sitting 5-1, still has shutdown bounty that they could pick up out of Wildcard. But man, that was a crazy set of circumstances for both teams.
And it's certainly a way to put it. Really poorly played fight by Winthrop. Seemed like they weren't sure whether or not they actually wanted to leave, whether or not they wanted to stay and fight.
Well, Grim also got cut out immediately. It was a 45 out of the gates.
Yeah, that is true also. The walking down by himself. There's a couple things that went wrong. And Wildcard, they just have to keep trying to force some of these engagements here. They have a lot of the team fight tools. They have a 1v3.
And here's going to be the bullet time. It's only tickling even Pseudo. But Mundo, the big threat, is here. And he's got more kills to his name with Haberagi getting the Slicing Maelstrom only soloed out on Anime Girl. Anime Girl now getting chased down. Red Buff picked up the kill for Crab Apple Boy with Psycho, the true hero for Wildcard. Getting run down, flash failed, double kill out of Crab Apple Boy. And my boy, he's got the cat back on his back, and he is chasing down Rapid. Nemesis might still be up, but Nemesis has been top lane this entire time. Meat Cleaver needs to land one more time, but you're at the steps at the fountain, chasing down Rapid. You can no longer continue this, and you get back out easily from the fight.
Man, and this is just so tough. You see how much commitment there is to Crab Apple Boy and how he just doesn't go down. The Sterix, the Yumi, it all comes in so very clutch in these scenarios. And all you really have to show for this is that you are taking this turret topside. But I say that, look who's here.
Hi, Crab Apple Boy. Hi, Nemesis. Sonic Wave connects. Where's the Shockwave? Hadn't been used because Nemesis wasn't even a part of that last fight.
It's as he's saying, it's just more gold. Oh, okay, we're still fighting.
Rapid, did you not learn your lesson last time?
He
You
did
had
not.
to run all the way back to your fountain. That was the only way you can escape Mundo. He goes where he damn pleases. He can chase y'all down. None of you can kill him, even with a TP in behind from Grim. They might have gotten the kill onto one, but it's a double kill, and my bud is chasing him down with the cat. Once more back on his back. They got a shockwave on top of him, but he is only tickled. It does so little. The slow, the kill from my bud. He's on a spree now. And Psycho, he dodges out one of the skill shots, but not the other. With the flash over the wall, Meat Cleaver connects. The dive underneath the tier 2 is easy with a kickback Sonic Wave ace.
And Mabud is just going to take down this turret, lose virtually no health. Winthrop,
They
he just...
barely tickle the turret, but they can just
Look at him.
wail away because how goddamn tanky he is beat down.
And it's the healing too. So all that, you get one turret, you give away so many kills, you can't win the fight, and you lose 2 tier 2s as well. And look at that.
Oh, whew. That looked a little rough for Rapid. Doesn't even have the Immortal Shield bow completed still. That's how far back this Graves has been in this game, waiting it out before he's actually going to be able to complete that because he went for the Youmuu's first. And unfortunately now, everyone's too tanky for that Youmuu's to mean it him.
Yeah, the only one realistically you can really put serious damage onto is Grim. But at the end of the day, Grim, 3 items deep, is very strong right now. Heibaragi working at 2.5 right now, also really strong. So you don't really have that burst potential anymore. You're down an XP on everybody else too if you're Rapid. So this is a hard one to play.
All right, well, they're sending many members back to my bud. They thought they were able to win last time when it was a 1v5 essentially. And here they're committing everything onto my bud, hoping that anything will be able to stop this Mundo. But he takes one down with him in the grave. Even if the cat back on his back dies, they had to commit so damn much just to kill them.
Man, it does work out in their favor, and it's worth because you get 2 for 1 in terms of kills, and you pick up that 1,000 gold shutdowns. That is a lot of gold in your pocket.
Oh, no.
no.
Oh, no. We knew what was going to happen. The shockwave on top of Rapid to keep him alive.
It lands!
Connected. Max range, baby. Grab Apple Boy, jumps over the wall to survive. But wait a what? Hey, Baragi, how the hell did you get back there? What? You weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward angle. These fights are getting really scrappy, and there is actually a window for Wildcard here. No shockwave, so I know it's going to be tough. You got no ults on either side here, so the poke is on their side. Crab is looking. He wants to go forward.
The Psycho is focused onto Grim, not onto Crab Apple Boy. Probably the one you realistically should actually focus on is Anime Girl, rocket belt forward, looking for the stun onto Grim. And again, you need to focus Crab Apple Boy. That's the real contender. If you can take down the jungler, you might be able to get the damn Baron afterwards, but unfortunately they get neither. They couldn't chase them down.
He wouldn't.
They are easily able to kite back, and look who's back up on their feet. It's Mabud and Koskinen.
And Heibaragi is not far behind them either, Magical. He can teleport to this fight if they really need him to, but I don't even know. He might just walk his way down. Now the Baron is being started, and this is going to be the deciding fight.
Yeah, it definitely is. Winthrop, it doesn't matter with whether or not they win this fight, they still got a lot to work with. But for the side of Wildcard, this is the do or die. It's the make or break. Can you steal it away? Psycho taking a lot of damage coming from the Make It Rain. As they got the root on the other side. Shockwave goes wide onto any member, and now you have 50 health on so
they're
many
turning.
people. Mabud is chasing it down. They've got a nice kick away from Crab Apple Boy, and this is what I talked about before with Kennen. He couldn't do a damn thing in the team fight because they could kick him right out.
And man, that is going to likely be it, Magical. You're up 10,000 gold. You win yet another team fight. Winthrop B will take the Baron, excuse me, and they don't even need to play for Dragon number 3. They can walk it down mid, Magical, and there's no longer anything Wildcard can do about it.
Not at all, and with 40 seconds left until a dragon spawns, if Winthrop want to take it, it is easily theirs. They have this world is theirs. Everything the light and the shadows touch is theirs. They don't have to worry about anything because Wildcard doesn't even own their damn base.
No, and it's looking like Pseudo is going to get forced back exactly there. Winthrop, they're doing this one clean. They're going to do this one proper. They're going to play for this next dragon, get themselves the third one, and it seems like they are not just pushing to end at this moment. I mean, they can. They're so strong.
But look how much gold they got. They got nearly 2,000 gold in Crab Apple Boy's pockets. They've got a lot they can spend, but instead they are just taking the dragon. The world is their oyster, and they can do as they please.
And what they please is picking up this third Drake here, and that's going to be Mountain Soul Point for Winthrop. You still have Baron for about 2 more minutes as well. So you can play through multiple lanes. You have Mabud. Look at that, man. He's
got a Titanic Hydra. He's a 10-2-10 fucking Mundo. What the hell can you do to this
Nothing.
man? You got nothing you can do to him. You couldn't even do anything to Grim.
Here comes.
Unstoppable Crab Apple Boy has another slice barrel through. Does nothing to the team. Couldn't rip them apart. They've got the damage to kill. And look who's in the base. It's Mabud. He got the flank of the century. It's a triple kill out of Heibaragi. The game is theirs. Nemesis, the last target, the sole survivor, flashed away just to make sure they can't have everything, but they will still get it. A clean ace, a 2-0 clean sweep from Winthrop B over the Wildcard developmental squad. Will continue their reign just shy of AoE Cope. They're right on their heels, though.
And That's right, and Winthrop B will comfortably take their spot as second in this group, raising their score to 3-1 at the moment. A good record to have, like you said, behind only AOE Cope. And it's been a dominating series from this squad here on Winthrop B.
I mean, when you have a Mundo that fed, what else can you say, right?
You just simply pass away. There's just nothing really. There's nothing you can do, and it's just kind of the reality of this healer meta we find ourselves in. Whether it's Soraka, whether it's Yuumi, you get past to a certain point and you won't die. And it's depending on. And the fact is, even before Yumi's healing became extremely impactful on Winthrop's side, Winthrop were still running things in the early game, especially from Crabapple Boys, Lee Sin, picking up kills constantly off the back of, like you said, Magical, when we were actually casting it, some pretty questionable plays from Wildcard side, some overcommitments after successful plays specifically.
Right. It's like you could see the makings in these early game fights where they get these plays and you're like, okay, you get that, you back off, you don't lose that, you have a nice little edge that you're able to carve out for yourself. But unfortunately, they would then get a little bit greedy. They would go too far. They would overextend and immediately get punished by Winthrop. And that's what made that game so difficult for them. You imagine if they go into these mid-game team fights at an even state at all, their team fight comp, as long as they can get Winthrop to group up, is going to overwhelm them.
That's right, and we saw it. Like Wildcard had avenues to play things out in game 2, but because he fell so far behind in the early game, it was just pretty much doomed from that point on, because you can't out damage this Lee Sin, who's already 2 items deep at a very early point of the game. I think it was like 17 minutes. And because of all the healing he got, you couldn't actually do anything about it. I think partially too, though, there was not as much forcing of plays as I was expecting from Wildcard, given the draft we saw. There were probably options where it's like, okay, we can just full send with our Kennen ultimate, but I didn't see Anime Girl look for anything like that, because when you're playing that champ, you do look, like I said earlier when we started that game, flank TPs, just trying to full send and set yourselves up with that Zhonya's into the ultimate.
Well, and that goes back to how much attention was paid back to Anime Girl on the top side by Crabapple Boy. That Kennen struggled for quite some time, but you know what? Enough of us breaking down the game. We've had our time in the sun. Why don't we give it up to our desk? Ravish, take it away.
I literally said that 5 minutes ago. No, infrared dress. Oh my God! Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the desk, man. Yes, I was not.
I'm not done with my thing, dude. Hold on, I got a timer on this.
We're in the middle of a whole different thing, trying to get everything out of there. But that's what matters. Let's talk about the game real quick, shall we? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Firstly, thank you, Bad Magical Beatdown Boulevard, for the wonderful cast as always here, gentlemen beside me. Let's talk about the game, because the game brought 2 O's today, and it's what we've been seeing for the last little bit. Right? It just seems as though that if you have a certain strategy, if you read up enough on your opponent, and you have a Yuumi, you cannot lose, bro. This is insane.
Makes me so miserable, man. I hate seeing the cat on book. I see it at Worlds. I'm seeing it by UPL. I can't escape it anymore, Ravish.
I don't understand. Kitsu. As a jungler, bro, it's like, I know you mentioned that you love like Yuumi alongside your Lee Sin, but like playing against it must do something to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, Yuumi is just not fun to play against. Like, she's great. Like, even like some people would argue like she's not really fun to play with on your team, but I feel like a lot of teams, especially showing at Worlds, like shows what she can do for the jungler in the early game, and like just having a Yuumi with you at all times is like, as a jungler, that's like a great feeling. So nowadays, it's just I hate playing as Yuumi, right? Like the Worlds meta, like man, I hate Damwon for first picking Yuumi the first game of Worlds, and it's just like now everyone's playing Yuumi.
Damwon wanted to win so bad that they decided to forego the entire meta and just make it this. Look, man, you guys may be world champions, bro. But y'all gotta stop playing with me, man. Like, y'all gotta stop making all this happen, because look, what's next? Soraka? Right? Bringing in Janet back, bro. And then suddenly, we're playing Artist Censor meta again. And Core JJ is as happy as he can be. But I'll digress from that, too. Let's try to look back on the game that we just saw the kids. So going over to you here, man, it's Winthrop yet again executed on a plan they had, and they chose to do one that's really simple. Just don't let your top laner die. Simple, easy.
I think Winthrop was really well prepared going to this match. Like they know what they like playing. They know like the style that they like to play. Even with the Seraphine and Soraka taking it out of the draft, like that Wildcard did, like they knew like, okay, we're gonna fall back onto the Yuumi, like, which is still a very, very, very strong pick as well. They still executed on their playing through top side. They shut down this cannon really easily with the counter pick on Mundo. I really like the Mundo pick this game. I feel like after seeing the Wildcard draft and deciding like, I don't think they have enough damage to kill Mundo, and Mundo's good into Kennen. And then like pairing that with like Yuumi, there's no way like that Wildcard would be able to come back if their top side won. So they executed on that plan pretty well. And then it showed like there was the 1v4 at Baron or 1v5 or 2v5 at Baron. And that was pretty big.
Now, you know, it's nice that we have Katsuo here because last week we saw some of the sickest Lee Sin plays. We saw 14-3 Lee Sin pop up and just decimate the field. Crabapple just tried his impression of that. He had a very strong early game, ends on a 12-3. I want to know your personal thoughts on his Lee Sin jungle and how he played it in this game.
I think he played it really, really well. The Graves Lee Sin matchup is one that I also have a lot of fun playing. And once you get ahead in that matchup, you just get to do whatever you want. And having this Yuumi on you at all times just lets you like further supports that idea. And it's really fun to like watch other Lee Sin players go in and like showcase like what they're capable of. And it's always a good thing to watch. I think a good Lee Sin player. So,
I mean, yeah, considering his landing rate for the Sonic Wave into the Resident Evil Strike, bro, should have at least, in my opinion, when we saw like probably 95%, because my man was hitting those starting to need on someone through minions. I consistently make sure they got down the engages. Your Crab Apple boy, but shout out to you on that, which in fact I believe we'll be hearing from him today in just a little bit. But that's all that here, gentlemen. Just do want to get your overall thoughts of the game though, and like maybe some takeaways that coming out, you know, for the side of Winthrop really quick, considering the performance they had.
So in the summer, I thought Anime Girl was a little bit slept on, had a great team and everything, but this time around, my bud is the guy who was slept on, and he's been performing absolutely well. We had the showdown between the two that I was excited for because it's the developing new top laners of the UPL, right? My bud, I was saying the rhymes in between the break. My dud's a stud, get first blood, he gets it all, he's a stud. No dud. Every single word that rhymes with it, he looks good, he looks great. I'm excited to see what Winthrop B can bring. Especially with these last performances they've brought. Just my god, man, my god, they're looking really good. I said earlier that they are punching above their weight class because these are no easy teams that they've gone against. As we said, AoE Dreams, we expected them to drop there. Wildcard, I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting a 2-0 for Wildcard, but Winthrop is coming together as a squad. They know their comfort, they know their strengths, and they play to those exclusively, and it's resulting in wins. So if they can keep this up, they can very well be a top contender in the UPL.
1,000%. Of that being said, we're kind of do a strip, but when you come back, we'll have our interview for y'all with Crab Apple Boy. See you in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We do have with us from Winthrop, Crab Apple Boy, also known as Mordio. How you doing, man? What's up?
I'm doing good. Happy to see you guys. I think I've met Kitsuo before online, but it's nice to meet Desterux and Ravishing Ravish. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you. It is phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy to be here, amigo. And I'm glad. Firstly, just congrats on the win. Fun games for y'all tonight. You were alluding to it a little bit though. So, well, just to start off, man, I'm sure like integrating into the whole college life and between League of Legends has been very busy for you. How have you been able to find time in between to just make sure to keep that balance going?
Well, obviously, like to be on a scholarship program, you need to maintain a certain GPA. So it's not like you can just completely ignore your studies. So for me, I like to find a rhythm, and that rhythm is usually just like you always want to show up to classes and do easy assignments to like just make sure that if you don't do great on a test that you can't study for, then at least you have like a buffer. So my goal at the very least is to always try to like maintain a B minus. Like right now I have A's, so I'm doing really well. But like generally, I practice solo queue or play with the team on average like maybe 6 hours a day. So there's still a lot of time outside of classes. Like granted, I don't study much, but yeah, you play where you can.
So I got to ask this question because we asked it of my bud last time, but name origin stories are always so fun. Where does Crab Apple Boy come from? Where does Mordio come from as well?
Oh, so I was originally Mordio, and I still go by Mordio. It's just like I was playing a game with my friend, and he was really like we had a very important relationship before I left for college. So I said like before I left, I was like, hey, why not just name myself like Mordio on stage? Because one of the characters in the game we played was called Rita Mordio, and we played co-op. He played the main character, and I played the side character Mordio, so I just chose that name. And then so like Crabapple Boy is like I met my ex next to a crabapple tree, and like yeah, after we broke up, kind of just named it that.
And that's Tales of Vespero, right?
Yeah. Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I know all my JRPGs, man. I got that unlocked.
You would. All right, Kitsu, what do you got for him, man?
How long has Winthrop been together? Because it seems like you guys really like came together with this identity, like came into UPL and like just. And how long have you guys been practicing? Because you guys just came in, you guys like upset everyone you guys played against. You're just showing up big, like proving yourselves as a team, as individual players, and you guys are looking really strong going into the UPL split. And I'm looking forward to playing you guys in playoffs. So I wanna know more about how you guys came together.
Well, I won't say too much, but Winthrop B has only been together for like, I mean, ask these guys, a month maybe, like probably a month, right? Yeah, like just about a month. And like I'm not gonna lie, I kind of keep my head down in the program, and I didn't know they were gonna be my teammates before that even. So like we just kind of went in cold, and I guess we're just winning everything. So it's nice. Yeah, we're the best apparently.
I mean, I guess that's pretty nice when you just win everything, right? Winning is a fantastic feeling. And of course, final question here for you, Migo. That if you want to give out any sort of words of wisdom to anybody watching, or any shout outs to anybody out there as well.
Words of wisdom. Take care of yourself, take care of your body.
Nice.
Just be a happy person, I guess. Yeah.
And shout outs at all or not? You good?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Respect, but thank you very, very much, Mordio, for joining us here today, man. It was phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what y'all do going forward into the season. Congrats yet again.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is that. Thank you joining us today for what was a interesting yet, you know what, a fun show nonetheless. Kid, so did you have fun today?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun matches to see.
That's okay, matters. Eric, did you have fun today?
I had a lot of fun. When Winthrop's winning, when the Throps are out, I'm having a good time. I watched them a lot during the spring season and everything they had when they had the whole Doxa roster and everything. It's fun seeing this Winthrop B do the run they're doing right now, even though it's not as grand as what we saw with the original spring Winthrop. This is a pretty fun UPL run, and this is a pretty fun squad.
I could not agree with you more. You know what? Today, our producer Hypertension didn't have much fun. So you know what? Go ahead and give him some love on Twitter, because I'm sure he's been having a little bit of back and forth today. So make sure you do that. But you know what? Thank you all for joining me here yet again. Appreciate y'all being here. And we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, I've been Ravishing Grabbers, the most ravishing bear on the internet. Peace.
Thanks, Amy.
I noticed I drink a lot of sodas when I'm gaming. Might as well drink something that's good for me. Head over to drinkolipop.com and order your favorite flavor.